Alrighty, I'm back for more QGIS hydrological fun and games. I've been away for not away, but unable to record for a few days because sometimes life gets you a bit busy. But I'm back and hoping that you missed me and hoping that you missed watching watching this cool book unfold. If you were following along before, you would know that I got a little bit stuck because I went a little bit off script, as I am wont to do. I like going off script and trying my own things as we go because, we need to apply the knowledge to our own situation, right? That's my excuse. So I went off script. I used my own coordinate reference system for the data that I had instead of the one suggested in the book. I got some advice from Hans that I should use a UTM coordinate reference system instead of the PSG 3857 that I was using. And so I'm going to go back and just have a quick look and see where I went off the track. I think it was at the LDD create step already. I'm going to try to reverse my steps a little bit, pick up where I left off and or fix wherever I got stuck and then get moving again. So yeah, I was at the step of trying to convert this raster with the flow directions in it to a grib file, which is a mesh file. So if we look for LDD create, I have to remember, I think it's just this one here. I'm just going to check quickly. Conversions. Yeah, recently used LDD to grib, this one here. If I try to run this one and I try to make it into, I'll just use a temporary file, it's going to give me an error message saying, it's a kind of cryptic error message. It just says you are not invited. You're not allowed to play in the party because this data set is not acceptable. It doesn't really tell you too much about why. Let's just see if that's still the case. Now it would help if I actually put my the correct screen up. Thanks for let me see. Alright, that should be better. So when you get to the point of running the conversion from LDD to grib, you're going to have this, and it's kind of a cryptic file, but basically it says something about Mercator 2SP formulation. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and just reproject this flow direction file. I'm just holding my mouse on it so that I can remember what format it is. So it's in a .map format. I don't know. The .map format is this Pc Raster format. I don't think I can just do a save as and put it into Pc Raster. Let's have a look. Yeah, so there's a Pc Raster file. But I don't know if that means the same thing as if there's some special thing about the .map file that makes it know that it's flow directions, slope directions, flow directions. Yeah. So anyway, so here we go. We're going to go and find the UTM zone for Portugal, which is where I am here. And there is only the national coordinate reference systems here. So let's look for UTM WGS 84 UTM North. I don't know why this dialog box is so skinny. And so we can start working through these ones here. We'll see this red line is going to shift over as we get somewhere to where Portugal is. So that kind of looks like, I'm not really familiar with what zone they use here. I would probably guess that the 29 North is the one to use. So I'm going to tell it to output to that coordinate reference system. I'm going to go and put it in the same folder where I was working before. I just have to find that again quickly. Our most recent files at the top, there we go. I think we're in chapter 4, and so we've got flow direction map, and this one I'm going to call it UTM 29 North. Okay, save that, and we're just going to run the rest and see what happens. Okay, so it's having a bit of a wobble, it can't do that. So it means we've got to backtrack a little bit more to this elevation map here. This was the DEM that we brought in. You see, this is already a map layer, .map. This one is a .tiff file. So I'm going to try to reproject this one and then just run through all the same steps again. I get the added benefit that I get to refresh on my mind how the workflow ran before. So I'm going to change this to, I don't know what the code is, I can't remember, so I'm just going to say UTM 29 North. I think that's what it was. And I'm going to go and select that from the list here. That one there. If we want to double check, we can always just go there and check that it's in the right place. Good. And we're going to just say OK. Alright, so now I've got an error message from something here. It's a plugin, OpenStreetMap tiles or something. I'm not happy with that. Okay, so that's one step backwards, and then we had to convert the DEM to a Pc Raster DEM, if I remember correctly. So to do that, we're going to go convert to Pc Raster format. I think we use this LDD. Now we just go to Toolbox, Pc Raster, Data Manage, convert to Pc Raster. So Pc Raster, convert to Pc Raster format. Now I'm going to take that new DEM that I've made, the one in UTM 29 North, and I have to put the output format into scalar, means any numerical floating point value, and I'm going to write it out to a file. I'm going to replace, I think I'm going to just replace that dem.map one here. Okay, and run it. That was very quick. Alright, and then so the project still is mostly valid because that dem.map is the same file that I've just overwritten now. Just going to check this one's information now. So let's see if QGIS is showing the updated information for the coordinate reference system. So it's still showing the wrong information. I'm just going to remove that and check, maybe I missed a step, but I'm going to just add it back in again. Here we go, dem.map. I've added it back in again, and let's see if it reports the correct coordinate reference system. Okay, so now it's reporting the correct coordinate reference system. So it's a bit of a gremlin with QGIS. It doesn't sort of pick up that the coordinate reference system changed unless you unload and reload the layer. Right, so I've got the DEM back. The colors of the DEM are still not what they should be, so we're going to go again. I think we simply did maybe it doesn't matter too much right now. Okay, so we're going to go and calculate the flow direction from that DEM, and to do that we're going to do also a sink fill, and also going to be done in one step by this LDD create. So go over here. Now we're careful to choose the one that we've got in the right UTM format. We're going to take all the hints here. So remove pits at the edge, no. Map units, units should be map units, and then 9999, 9999, 9999, 9999 for all of those options, and then we're going to write this out to replace this one over here. So we're going to replace that file and run that. Pc Raster library is not available. I think I remember why that is the case, so I just need to go close QGIS. I had to do something to get Pc Raster to be available. I had to go to my Pc Raster library. If you recall, I had followed the installation steps for getting Pc Raster installed. Let's just go and Google that again quickly. Pc Raster Linux, whichever you want to prefer. So I think there were some setup notes here. So we have to do this export step here. Then we could test that it was set up properly over there. So I don't think I've rebooted my computer since the last time I did this. I'm going to just check whether my Python path and this are already set up right. So let's go to here, type Python, and just punch those in and see. Okay, so it doesn't know what Pc Raster is. We're going to go look in my, I'm just going to try this, source my bash file. We try the same test again. Okay, so that works. Then, so we know QGIS is not using the right environment. So this is all just a total detour from the actual thing that we're trying to do. So QGIS, let's see which version we get when we run it. Okay, 3.26. And now the LDD command should work. Alright, so let's have another go. We're going to run LDD create. I'm going to take the DEM in UTM 29 North, write that out to overwrite the flow direction map, and run it, and now it works. Okay. Hope you followed it along at home well, boys and girls, because it's yeah, it's really just having the right path, the Python path in the context where QGIS is running, so that it knows where to find Pc Raster libraries in Python. Definitely time for a little snack we'll have while we wait for that to process. If you're out there and you want to chat to me, feel free to talk in the YouTube chat channel. I won't be watching all the others at the same time. Alright, so I'm just going to wait a little bit. In case you're wondering what I'm snacking on, I'm eating Haribo's Ositos de Oro, which actually have no idea. Little bones. I don't think it was of gold. I don't exactly know what it means, but little chewy sweets. Waiting. Let's have a look at the CPU activity and see if it's working hard. Looks like it. Looks like it's only working in a single thread again there, that's why it's taking so long. Looks like it's a 3 Haribo process. Looks like it might have been finished. Okay. I'm going to copy the style for this layer, remove it, and add it back in and try and paste the style. Oh, looks cool. Let's have a little look at the coordinate reference system. Okay, so now we're in UTM. That looks a bit better. It looks a little bit weird, doesn't it? Have a look here, and I'm just going to put this onto Hillshade. Maybe it looks a bit better. If somebody ever wants to fund QGIS, getting rid of these artifacts would be so nice. I think a lot of them are just rendering artifacts. I don't think it's actually the data that's causing it. Okay, so we are now good to go. We've got this, the flow direction, and then we can go back to where we got lost, which is back to the mesh conversion. So we're going to do Pc Raster LDD to grid. We're going to take that as the we're going to take the, to see what we're going to use. Flow direction. It's a bit strange, it doesn't have a coordinate reference system listed there, but the output file here flow dir mesh as the output, so flow dir mesh. Alright, let's run it and see if it works. Okay, it's doing stuff, I think. There we go, so we're just going to wait for that to process. This key just crashed, or where's it gone? Oh dear. Okay, so it's had a bit of a crash. Let's see if we can restart that. Might be the end of our session if it is going to crash there every time. Okay, let's try one more time. If it crashes, we're going to end the session and we'll go get help again. Let's see what happens. Looks better. Finish processing there. Why didn't it add the layer 2? Flow mesh dir.grb. Okay, so now we need to add it. I think I might need to go here and just add a favorite to the place where the data is. So a while. My downloads folder probably has thousands of things in it. To remember what the name of the folder is called. Something starting with Q. There we go. Okay. Okay. No, that's not the one we want. This is the one we want. So there's the mesh layer. It's busy loading or something. I'm not sure what it's doing. Just wait a bit. Or crashing maybe. QGIS might be crashing, I'm not sure. So it's doing lots of, maybe it's busy converting to the mesh or reading it in or something, I'm not sure. I'll just give it a minute to finish thinking. I think it's loaded. Just waiting while it gets it ready. More waiting. I guess QGIS is doing some processing of some sort in it. Aha! Do you believe we have a mesh? It looks a bit difficult to see what's going on because I guess the mesh is quite dense. So now I guess we're going to go and figure out how to style it. So it says here, when the map canvas shows a completely yellow layer, which is what we've got, the floater mesh layer has been loaded and we can start styling it. Awesome. Select the floater mesh layer in the layers panel and open this layer styling panel, which is where we are now. Then we're going to go to this one to disable the contours. Okay. Now we're going to click on the arrow one and show vectors. Do you want to let us do it? We have to go first to here. We have to click on that arrow over there. Woohoo! So now we're looking at a map of the terrain with the direction that the water would flow. If it landed in each pixel, which way would it flow? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool indeed. Okay. Now we're going to go change the arrow length settings to 2. We'll change it to fixed and set it to 2. Alright, there we go. Now they're much smaller. I'm going to change the color to dark blue. Okay. Then we're going to check the I'm going to check the box to display on user grid to show arrows arranged in a grid. Let's see, display on user grid. Ooh, getting better and better. Okay, and then they say we can play with this grid spacing to improve the results. So you could make it more like this if you want it less cluttered, and so on and so on. Alright, now we're going to go and make a 3D view of the map. Okay, so we've got our 3D view here. Just let it load up first. There we go. See if we can tilt it around a bit. Okay. Now it says we can go change the terrain type to dim over here. We can use that one there. And then they're suggesting we do some tweaks with these things here. Set that to 2. Set the tile resolution to 512. And the skirt height we're going to set to 5 map units. Alright. So I'm just going to wait for it to draw that in first. See how it came out. I think we're waiting for it to draw. Okay, I'm not sure if it's hung or what's happening there. I'm just going to give it a few more seconds to see if it can manage to draw itself. I could try to rotate the scene around, maybe it's lost, but I think it's all pretty frozen up. So I think I'm going to stop there. That's good progress. So we've got the data set back into a state where we can use it to do things. And we can use, we can do we're going to do some delineation of streams next. But I just need to get it to actually work here. Let's have a look quickly. do something like that. Okay, but I think we'll call it a night for now. As you can probably hear, my voice is getting very sleepy. I don't want to fall asleep while I'm streaming, whatever. That would be not so good. So I'm going to call it a night here, and then we'll pick it up next time. Thanks for following along, everybody, and see you soon.